Hi, I'm Maryanne Nicholls, and this current video blog is the second in a four-part series on getting to know for those of us who have learned never to say no. Saying no was hard for me personally. It's hard for others like me for many reasons: fear of conflict, a desire and need to please others, and a need to be accepted. This comes from the deeper emotional fears of hurting others through conflict and either being disappointed or disappointing others, missing out and being judged and rejected. We don't want to be judged or rejected, and it can feel like we are judging or rejecting others when we say no. It could be you are a people pleaser and stress over anything that goes against that. It could be that you feel guilty every time you even potentially hurt somebody else. You might also exaggerate the possible negative consequences of what happens if you say no. For instance, what if? What if I get fired? What if someone ends up hating me? What if he leaves me? Much of this could stem from our childhood conditioning. For instance, our parents may have been that way and taught us to do the same thing, or an ingrained habit we formed early in coping with difficult experiences. We may have grown up in a difficult family situation where it was normal to be guarded and careful. Everything I mentioned is some kind of fear. I'd like to examine each of them. Fear of conflict and disappointment. It could be that saying no will lead to anger or tension or hurt feelings. The truth is, it could lead to any of those, but that doesn't automatically mean the end of a relationship. Conflict, if handled well, can and often does help cement relationships rather than the reverse. Fear of missing out, or FOMO. If I say no, that might mean I won't be asked again, and that might mean I'll miss an important event or exciting opportunity. It could, but not always, or even often. It depends on how you do it. Fear of being judged or rejected. Yes, sometimes we will be judged and we will experience negative reactions, but surprisingly, not usually. What usually happens is that people respect our limits just as we respect theirs. Being a people pleaser. People pleasing stems from having a deep-seated desire to be liked and accepted. We fear being unacceptable to people who matter to us, and as a result, often put their needs before our own. But that strategy can eventually lead to burnout and then lead to letting people down. It's great to want to please others. We just need to remember to add ourselves as one of those people. Feeling guilty. When we fear hurting others' feelings and then do something that might hurt them, even if we have a solid reason for doing so, we can feel guilty and not good about ourselves. That hurts. No way around it. And having said that, there are worse consequences for not doing something that needs doing. Feeling unreliable. If we believe that being reliable and dependable means we don't say no to a request that is going to be hard for us, then that can lead to feelings of guilt and shame. Once we're known for being reliable, getting requests for help can be overwhelming. It often means letting ourselves down by not letting others down until we do, because we can no longer avoid it. Fearing negative reactions, the what ifs again. Playing this what if game can be crazy making. And yet, when you think about it, it's all mental gymnastics. Most scenarios we consider are those least likely to ever happen. What happens when we allow our fears to govern our actions is we lose ourselves. We discount our own needs and desires and eventually forget them in the service of others or of self-protection. We fear failure so much that it leads us to that failure, becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. How exactly? That's the subject of my next video. Hope to see you there.